Good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are, teachers. Welcome to MmTESOL Teacher Support Programs. The new year is here, bringing fresh energy and new possibilities. MmTESOL Association is a non-profit organization working towards quality professional practices in
MmTESOL.
English language education by organizing continuous professional development events such as seminars, webinars, lectures, training courses, and other appropriate activities for English language teachers. Before we dive into the main content, let's take a moment to cover some essential housekeeping items. The whole session will be recorded, and the recording will be uploaded to our MmTESOL YouTube channel. During the session, the participants are kindly requested to mute yourself. We'll allocate time for questions and answer. Feel free to ask questions in Q&A section time by using the chat or raising your hand to participate. Towards the end of the webinar, we'll share the evaluation form for the analysis and for your e-certificates, which will be released during 2 working weeks. This interactive webinar is designed for ELT TESOL professionals as we come together to reflect, share experiences, and set resolutions for the year ahead. We are growing not only as teachers, but also as professionals. Without much ado, let me introduce you with the speakers. First, Teacher 𝑐℞𝐞𝐽𝐬. Teacher 𝐏𝐞𝐽𝐬 is an experienced English language educator with a teaching career spanning nearly 40 years. She is a working group member of MmTESOL and participates actively in MmTESOL events to contribute to the growth of ELT in Myanmar. She is also a founder of Lancaster Education Center. Second, Teacher 𝑑 Teacher 𝑚 is an education consultant. She worked with the British Council and with the Ministry of Education at Yangon University and Yangon University of Education. She holds MmTESOL from Lancaster University and MA English from Yangon University. She is volunteering as co-chair at MmTESOL Association. But last not the least, 𝑠.𝑟.𝑒𝑒𝑎𝑟'𝑠 𝑐ℎ𝐵𝐬𝐬 is the co-founder of Ulingo English Language Center. He has been working as an English language teacher for more than 15 years. He published a mini bilingual dictionary from Turtle Publishing, Singapore in 2019. He worked as a teacher trainer in Sire Foundation for 3 years. He has the experience of training the teachers for different backgrounds on trauma-informed education and developing learning materials that promote the well-being of the children. Teachers and 𝑠.𝑦𝑒𝑎𝑟'𝑠, please kindly share your thoughts on teachers as professionals. Thank you.
Thank you, Teacher Dasin. Thank you very much. So, okay, so I think Sarah Ang-Jo-Pyo, do you have something to share with us first?
Yes, teacher. So to set our sharing session, so I would like to start with the questions as usual, right? So because we are the teachers, so we like asking questions. So I would like to request you to scan this QR code to go into the mentimeter.com, or maybe I will share the link into the chat box, right? So that some of you can access it during using the link as well. And another thing is, maybe if you cannot go into that link, so what you can do is you can also use the chat box, right? So to give your answer. So this is the QR code. Okay. Okay, so I'm also trying to send the QR code into the chat box as well, so that you can get it like when I move on to the questions. So the question is, like, how do you understand being professionals? Or like, what do we mean by professionals? Okay, so here is the question. So let me start the presentation for you. So So already, so there's. Some of you who cannot enter the link, you can use the chat box to give your thoughts and share your ideas in the chat box. So please, you can use the chat box freely, so to give your answers. Wow. So many interesting and at the same time marvelous ideas, right? So a lot of thoughts here. So I really like the words dedication, right? So that is, so if you are a professional, you have to dedicate, right? So you have to dedicate yourself to your being the professional. So you have to dedicate your time and energy to become, in becoming the teacher, right? To becoming the teacher. So to becoming the professional. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. So now I would like to invite teacher 𝐏𝐞𝐚𝐜 so to share your thoughts on this same question. So what would be your definition, or how would you like what would be your answer to this question? So what do we mean by professionals?
Well, I think I sort of agree with most of the things said here, but my first thing that comes to my mind is to do with skillful and well qualified. I think dedication is important as well, but even though you're dedicated and you're not learning, because a professional means that you are quite skillful in whatever it is that you are doing, that you can have a professional, for example, carpenter, then they must be someone who is really skillful, knowledgeable, know the subject matter well. So for me, that is really important, that you really know the subject matter well. And then a true professional is then, of course, as you mentioned, dedicated, but I also like to think about ethical. I like the fact that in the ethical sense, for teachers, sometimes honesty is also very important. So we are not God. So even when we make mistakes, when I was a young teacher, I make mistakes sometimes teaching grammar, but I will go back the next day and I will tell them that, sorry, I made a mistake, and please, this is not the correct. So I think a professional teacher is also someone who, if you're a professional, you know your boundaries, you know what is expected of you, and you know your responsibility. So quite a lot of things involved, I would say. But first and foremost, I think the skill and knowledge is also really important. That's my take. Teacher May, you want to say anything?
Thank you, teacher. And thank you, Sarah, for your question. I think I would echo teacher Khan's first part of the answer. Being a professional is someone. Being a professional is, I think, someone keeps learning and keeps doing the CPD, continuing professional development. Because sometimes, because I have seen in the questions that the participants have written here, some people have asked, I have got a degree, and what should I do next? So I started to think about this question. So having a degree, having a diploma doesn't make you a professional. It gives you some qualification and some skills and knowledge. But unless you keep learning, I think you will stop learning and you will stop doing things as a professional, because you stand still, you don't move on. Then you can call yourself a professional. So I think doing continuing professional learning and will make you a professional. Yeah. And the second part is also very important. Admitting our mistakes is quite difficult. Okay, I also make lots of mistakes. Still, I do. So being accountable, and this is also part of it, and it is part of being ethical. So I think they are very important, being professionals. So, okay, so far I think that's all I have to say. But maybe later I will put on some more of my thoughts. So yeah,
Teacher May, yeah.
Yeah.
Would you, what do you think? I mean, that's your next thing, right? Are you going to talk about the professional practices now?
Yes. Professional practices. Yes, okay. It is a big question. And I don't think I can answer it in one sentence. Professional practices, what I think are, as I mentioned before, keep learning and being accountable and being honest and willing to share, willing to learn, and what else? And being able to lead your classroom. Leading here doesn't mean that you are going to lead people by your commands, but leading people by examples. A role model. A role model in the sense of being ethical and at the same time, in a profession, in language teaching, in language learning, for me, I tell my students these days that, I'm like you. I'm also learning. I'm not perfect. I'm not God. And I'm not a dictionary. I don't know everything in the world. So let's learn together. I have this attitude these days. And these days, I am less ashamed of myself, having to admit my mistakes in front of people. Yes, when I was younger, I had this feeling that, people might look down on me. If people have found out that, I have made a mistake. But these days, I tell my students and my colleagues that, yes, this is my mistake. Yes, I am admitting my mistake, but I will try to correct myself and I will try to not to make the same mistake again in language use or in anything that I have done. So these are some little thoughts on professional practices. Sia, do you want to add on for these professional practices?
So when we talk about professional practices, that has so many things, right? So under this heading, but I think maybe one of the most important thing is to professional practices mean you're always putting in the effort to make yourself better. So that is, in a way it is CPT, right? So that is, you're continuously learning and then you're planning for your lessons all the time, right? So even when you have taught that lesson for 1,000 times, you still want to look for the room, right? So that is where you want to make the improvement. So that might be one of the most important things. Also, I can say that sometimes we do not, maybe sometimes we may feel a bit tired and, so there are moments, of course, right? So we're human, right? So we're not robots. So we sometimes feel that we can be so too exhausted, too tired to do anything. There might be some moments like that. So most of the time, right? So we want to make things better. We want to make our lessons better all the time. So that might be one of the professional practices. So that's what I think. So Teacher Kai.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Sia.
Okay. I think you've covered a lot, but then I will look at it from the point of view of the learner. So I think because we are teachers, can I also mention our Myanmar saying about 𝑦𝑒𝑎𝑟'𝑠, it's like so that is also a very good thing. We don't teach, I don't know what people feel about it. For me, I'm still old-fashioned. So as a teacher, I don't just teach them the lesson. So I think we should be guiding them towards, so there should be some kind of civic education in our lessons. There should be some critical, thinking skills that we develop, making them able to face, especially now with the 21st century skills. So I think as a professional, you mentioned that we have to keep changing with the time. And so we've got to think of the changing context, the AI, everything. So we have to try, I think, harder these days. So I I actually like also what I said earlier about so I do want the students to be better than us. The students should be better than us, and they should become a better generation. So that's should be our practice as well. Maybe I don't know. I mean, I'm getting old, and so sometimes a bit sentimental these days.
All right, okay. It's not about age, but I think it's about the attitude. Okay,
Yeah.
so now talking about the professional practices, I have a poll, and okay, let's do a bit digital, and we will show you some statements, and what you do is you tell us whether you think they are good practices or bad practices, or simply true or false. Okay, so we'll look at the items, and so you do the poll. Teacher Dancing, can you please help
Yes,
open
teacher.
the book?
Already launched.
Yes, there we go. Yes, there we go. Okay.
Let's see, I cannot choose. I don't know why. Can you choose?
Me neither.
We can
Yeah.
choose.
I can't choose.
We can choose, teacher.
Yes, we can't. So teacher may shall we request the participants to type in the chat about the first question. Is it true for them?
So there is a QR code. Let's see if
Yeah.
it works.
Okay,
There's a
so
QR code.
Yes, dear.
what about getting the QR code and sharing it in the chat box?
Allow me to share. Teacher, this is the QR code.
Okay, I can see the numbers changing. I think people have started.
Yeah, some people could, but I
Mm.
can't.
Maybe teacher, because we are co-host and host, we can't. Participants can.
Okay.
That's why.
All right. Okay.
Yes. There are altogether 7 items. Okay, 50 total responses. 51 now. So we have 118.
55.
If we minus the host and co-host, I think there should be about 100 or over 100, 110, let's say. Done, teacher. Yes, some people have done. Teacher Mutiny, just done. Thank you. Yeah, I will wait for a while. Okay, teacher Mabel, done.
51, 53.
Okay. Okay, I think we better talk together now. Okay, and some people can keep doing it. I will not wait for everyone to finish because I don't know whether everyone can have the access to this to the version or not. So the first one, let me read out the sentence. Teachers are expected to uphold ethical standards both inside and outside the classroom. So, okay, 93% of the participants have marked it true. So yes, the answer is true. So we are expected to uphold ethical standards, not only in the classroom, but also outside of the classroom. In this case, some people might say that, okay, we are teachers. Our duty, our responsibility is to teach in the class. Outside of the class, we are just human beings. We can be, okay, we can do whatever we like. But for me, I have a different idea. Your personal life may be a different one, but for example, being accountable and being, for example, keeping things confidential, for example, exam marks or okay, some professional ethics, I think we need to keep them to ourselves. So I think this sentence is true. So those who have marked true have got the correct answer. Right. And if you want to discuss a bit more, we will talk about this later. What about number two? Effective classroom management focuses only on discipline and punishment. Okay, and 19% says false. Yes, it's false. Because classroom management is not only disciplining. Classroom management is also a wide area. It is like, okay, it includes areas such as seating plans and pairing and grouping students, and making sure that you are understood, making sure that you are heard, you give clear instructions. So there are quite a lot of subtopics under classroom management. Disciplining, okay, and rewarding and punishment is one area. But punishment, again, this can be another topic for workshop. Okay, so we'll not talk about punishment this time, but disciplining is only one area, not only an area. So I think this is false. And number three, continuous professional development is optional once a teacher has got a qualification. And the answer is false. Yes, false. Okay, so a teacher has got a qualification, a degree, a diploma. Okay, but once he or she has a degree and diploma, it doesn't mean that he has completed everything as a professional. And this is just the beginning. You have got a degree, you have got a certificate, you have got a diploma, but this is just the beginning of your teaching career, your professional life. Okay? Teaching career, yes, if some people start teaching without any qualifications, and okay, and I'm not saying anything about this, but having a degree or just a qualification doesn't mean that you have become a professional. You have got a piece of paper, a ticket to become a teacher. But again, to be a real teacher, there are many things that we need to abide by. And the next one, number four, maintaining confidentiality of student records is part of a teacher's professional responsibility. Yes, true, 97%. Yes, it's true. Yes, this is very, very important, okay? Because we have to work with the exams and the tests and the marks and the questions. Of course, we need to be ethical. In this case, okay, we cannot let the students know the questions in advance. We cannot make changes with the marks. So they should be confidential until and unless the result is out. So this is very important. This is one area of teachers' responsibility. So it's true. And number five, assessment should be used only to assign grades at the end of the course. Okay, so 87% said false is false. Yes, assessment is not only to give grades. Assessment is for us to get to know the students' progress, whether they are doing well, whether they can follow the lessons well or not very well. And that's one area. And assessment can also be good for us because the results can be the indicator for us whether we are doing well or not as a teacher, whether we can teach well, whether our students can follow our lessons well. So assessment is not just to get grades, it's for to get to know the students, understanding their progress so that we can do things for them to be able to learn better in the future. And for number 6, teachers serve as role models for learners in terms of values and behavior. Yes, okay, 98%. Yes, we are role models. But again, what kind of role models do we want to be? Okay, do we want to be very strict, prim and proper? Yes, to a certain extent, yes. But in terms of ethical sense and professional sense, I think, okay, we should be someone that they can look up to, and they have to see in us that, oh, these are the good practices that we should follow in our life. So yes, we as Teacher Kai has mentioned earlier, we are not just giving them a subject matter. We are also showing our students as role model how to live a good life, a good citizen in the world, helping others, and making the better world. Okay, so I think we are the role model. So it's true. And last but not least, number 7, using technology in teaching is unnecessary if traditional methods are effective. False. Yes, it's false. Okay, the traditional methods are good, effective. Yes. Yes, okay. And I am still doing some traditional methods. Sometimes I do a mixed method approach. I use traditional methods. Sometimes I ask my students to do the memorization, to do the rote learning to a certain level, but not for the whole lesson. But at the same time, I try to integrate some kind of technology, the little knowledge that I have. Okay, these days, okay, quite a lot of digital apps and AI. And again, okay, we need to be very cautious using those technology, and especially AI. But we can't live without technology. Technology has come into our life. It will stay with us. It will go on staying with us forever. Technology will not leave us, at least for the near future. Okay, so I think we need to learn to live with technology. For me, I'm an old school, and okay, I have this technophobia, and okay, I don't know much about technology, but I am learning, and I'm learning from the younger generation. And sometimes I ask for help. Please help, rescue, come. So yeah, this way I learn to get help and to get things done. So I think there are some of the good professional practices. The false ones are not very good. And I think this will give you some ideas of how to stay as professionals. Okay, so share results. Okay, so I think that's also. I think I will just stop right. Yeah. Okay. So if you have some more questions and discussion, it is still showing. Wow. Okay, I stop. Okay, so if you still have some more questions and discussion, we can do it at the end of the session. Okay, so let's move on. This time, so we have talked about being a professional, what it means by a professional, and what are the professional practices we have talked about. So this time, we like to talk about the challenges that we have had in the past as professionals and how we are trying to overcome it. So I like to address this question to 𝑠𝑒𝑎 𝐴𝑛𝑔𝑒𝐴𝑚. In 2025 or in the past, did you face any challenges as a professional? And can you share how you overcame these difficulties?
I would like to talk about one of the difficulties that I faced in my beginning years, in my rookie years. So there was a student who is very disrupted in the class, and he has a good command on English, and then he is always gossiping to his friends what mistake I'm making, and then what kind of grammar mistake I'm making.
Can I help you? Has he lost the connection?
I guess, Chair.
Yeah.
I will wait.
Okay.
Teacher 𝐏𝐫𝐤 is joining again.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But he is my student. I'm his teacher, but it goes on for like it went on for a long time, and then I felt so sick of it. So sometimes I felt really depressed to go into that room, that classroom, right? So that I didn't know what to do. I feel like I have to go to the bathroom like before even going to his classroom, right? So to wash my face and then to throw up sometimes, right? But when I reflect and think about it, maybe he is not, targeting me. He is just being himself, right? And sometimes like some of the students may have some problems at the homes, and then I do not trying to understand, and I'm just thinking that he is targeting me, he is sort of like insulting me, he is challenging my authority, and that's what I'm thinking about all the time. But after sometimes I realize that maybe he might have some, he might not be happy being in this classroom. So that's what his problem. But and I started to understand that, and another thing is I'm focusing on him when I should be focusing on other students who like me, and who like my teaching, and who are like who want me to teach them, who want to learn from me, right? So I have to change the attitude, right? After that, I feel okay in this classroom. And another thing is when I talk to the other teachers, my colleagues, they also face the same problem with him. So at the time, I realized that no, it's not me, it's him, right? It's his problem. So because I was a new teacher and I'm having self-doubt, right? I was having self-doubt. Oh, am I not like worthy enough to be a teacher or something like that, right? So I was having some kind of identity crisis there. So, but I gradually realized that, my this is so that the problem with himself, and then but we became a good friend. We became good friends after like a year of teaching this class, right? So that was my sort of like a very inspiring story, right? So that is challenge that one of the challenges that I have faced in my beginning years of my professional. So that was, yeah. Teacher me. Well, what about you? Like, so have you ever had that kind of challenges in your life as well?
Thank you, Sia. I also had similar stories to share, Sia. In the beginning years, yes, okay. And I was still very young and still not very experienced in terms of years. So there were teachers who challenged my knowledge on grammar. That in fact, okay, my grammar points were correct, but they had this wrong thinking and wrong learning in the past. So they came to me and they talked with me, teacher, for example, okay, I remember exactly, okay, I was teaching Kana lesson, okay, I don't think many of you have heard of this, okay, and it was on a story, and the man who escaped, okay, so that was a story. It's about a good man who was arrested by mistake and who was in jail, okay, and he escaped, okay. So in the story, okay, when by the time when he escaped the jail, okay, he was dressed in gray prison uniform, dressed in. So that, okay, at one point, okay, one CRG, okay, one teacher came to me and he sit, okay, in front of me and he said, Sihama, okay, teacher, okay, you said he was dressed in the uniform. I learned was dressed is a passive form. So was dressed is the passive form should be followed by. So you should say he was dressed by the uniform. So I said, no, Xiaji, dressed in this particular uniform because you are talking about clothing. So no, Ma, okay, I was a very young person. That time I was only 20 something, and he was that time over 40. Okay, because I do the teacher training. So some of my trainees were much older than me. They were old enough to be my parents. Okay, so he said, Ma, I have been teaching English for so long, and my students, many of them have got distinctions, and now they are now doctors and okay, good high-ranking people. And I know I'm right. So what did I do? I just gave up. I I tried. Okay, I stopped arguing with him. Okay, because he's almost at the nearly at the age of retirement, and I don't think I will not. It's no use wasting my breath, wasting my energy talking with him, explaining that Grandma Boy was dressed in the uniform. So but I got a lesson. Okay, some people got this wrong idea embedded in their mind that you can't change. So I said, okay, that person I will not change, but I will try to do things for the majority. Okay, so the majority, okay, they accepted me and they accepted my teaching. And of course, I do make mistakes, and I tell them that, okay, this is my mistake, as teacher Kai mentioned, and as Uncle Q said, this is the right way. Yesterday I made a mistake, so I just tell them how I do with the lessons. But that person, I just I show respect, but I ignore his argument. Yes, so those were the days when I was challenged, and when I look back, I think it was quite a good experience for me to get more mature as a professional. Okay, so shall we talk about well-being? Okay, talking about the past. Okay, so I think we can also talk about how to keep ourselves be well and physically and mentally. And I think Sarah, and you have something to share with us about the well-being, the social, physical, and mental well-being. Sarah.
Oh, where should I begin? Actually, in English language teaching, so there has been so many changes. In the older days, we focus more on, psychology, and then we move on to cognitive, and then there was like people are like moving on to Vygotsky theory of social, cultural, constructivist, whatever. So they call it the social 10, right? So it has ELT has 10 new page that is the social, right? So that is social 10. Now is the a new 10. There is a new 10 becoming. So it is called affective 10. So that is about emotions, right? So it is not just the emotions of our students, but also emotions of the teachers. We teachers are also social, emotional creature, right? That's why. So we also should think about our emotions. We also should like observe our emotions, right? So that is as we have already been in the true force, right? So in the true pool, right? We talk about we should be role model for our students, right? We want our students to be well behaved, and then we want our students to be able to manage their emotions. So if we want them to get those capacities, our competency, right? So we should be the role models. We should be the ones who know how to manage our emotions and physical well-being, social well-being, mental well-being. So 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with diabetes. So that was a sort of like an eye-opening moment for me. So nothing is more important than your health, right? And all your psychological well-being or like mental well-being. So your well-being is the most important thing in your life. So you cannot trade it with anything. So even with a lot of gold, right? There is like billions of so your well-being is the most important, like the most precious thing in your life. So starting from that point, I quit the job. I quit my full-time job. So because like I know that like my well-being is the most important thing in my life. So I have to give my time to my well-being. So I started doing what I'm feel happy. So that was the sort of like a change, critical juncture, right? So that is from that time on, I thought that maybe I could die any day, right? So that is so that's why. So I started walking, right? So that is so I started walking for like at least 60,000, 6,000 steps a day, right? I have a application in my phone, they so install, and then like when it count your steps, right? So that is so step counter, and then yeah, so I stopped eating sweet things. So animal, like I just like so sugar, right? So that is like you have to cut off the sugar, right? So there's so, so that's like I used to look very fat, and then now I'm a lot slimmer, right? So I think I lost a lot of weight, and then even my skin, right? So that is like changed a lot, right? So that is I have healthier skin now, right? So it's because of the choices that I make, right? So it is, and I used to have very demanding, although it is a very good job, right? I'm not criticizing my old job. So it was a really happy moment in my life, right? So there is like I was lucky enough to have that job. That it was physically and mentally demanding job. So because it is also a very responsible job as well. So yeah, so I made a decision. So although as much as I love that job, I love my well-being more, right? So that's why I started to take the steps, right? Maybe they are small, but it is like taking shapes, right? It is so they are taking shapes. So I think it is really important to think about the emotions of your students, and also the well-being of yourself as well, right? So both the students' well-being and teachers' well-being. Right? So Teacher Kind, would you like to add like some more thoughts into this question, like, into this topic?
So yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt, but Teacher Khan is having internet connection
No,
issue, so she has not yet.
she's back actually.
No,
It's back.
She's
no,
back.
but I
She's
had
back.
a problem. So yeah, I think work-life balance. That's what everybody is saying. And being somebody who is, much older than you, I have to also like I totally agree with you. I'm diabetic as well, but I heard that some young teachers. I'm not blaming. I used to teach like 40 hours per week. It's not that much now, maybe, but I don't know how many hours people are teaching now. So you've got to know your limit. That's it. When I was young, I would teach maybe 8 hours straight sometime. Yeah, but I don't think I can now. And then with Zoom, I heard that some people have like a very, very busy day starting at 7 in the morning, finishing at 10. So while you are young, you can do it, but it may take a toll on your health. So, as AR said, do take a break and go travel and have a hobby because it's very important. Either for me, it's watching TV, watching films. So, I watch films almost every night together with my husband. So that's also very important. So, yeah, I would say, yeah, we are all adults, we are all grown up, right? So remember, health is the most important thing, right? So work-life balance, I would say that again. And having a hobby is the most important thing. And having someone to love is also very important. So, but it doesn't have to be like I said, Teacher May has the nephews that she dotes on. That's also fine. Okay. Right. All right. Now I think because of time, can we move on to the later aspect, right?
Yes,
So,
teacher, yes.
yes.
So okay, the later part, we like you to talk a bit about the current trends, how we what we can do with the CPT teacher.
So I think I'm just going to take over there a little bit from here. So may I take the floor?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay, so I would like to share first of all. I have got some slides, so I just want to ask you. First of all, before we talk about CBD, we've got to analyze ourselves first. And we were talking earlier about also the professional, right? So being professional means having the skills and also reflection. We talk about technology in the pool as well. So this time, could you write in the chat what you consider to be your current professional strength? Okay. And can I ask Teacher Miet? I know. Can I ask Teacher Miet? What would you say? What's your answer to this?
For the current professional strength, for subject knowledge, and also assessment and feedback, and another one is also for me professional reflection. So learning, and then also I also reflect what I learned, what I have learned, and also use of technology as well. So I'm still learning. For current one is for subject knowledge, classroom skills, and assessment and feedback.
What about others? Could you write in the chat what you consider to be your current professional strength? Can you write in the chat? Is it possible?
Possible, Chair.
Yeah, I saw just right. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2. Okay, 2. Okay. I admire people who say 5 because that is not my strength at all, right? Use of technology. As Teacher Mimi said, we are the dinosaurs, so we haven't got enough knowledge about. So that is going to be my resolution for this year, you know? So, okay. And yeah, most of you said, oh, a lot of people say 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5. And I can see that people who are young, you have this 5. Okay. And so yeah, hey, definitely 5 for you as well, right? Okay. So can we think about now, how do you keep yourself updated with the current trend? What do you do for your CBD? Again, if you like, you can write them there. And would anybody like to also share your thoughts on this? Teacher Azin, would you like to share?
Yes, teacher, I would love to. For my CBD, I'm very lucky that I am one of the active volunteers in MmTESOL, so I can and I could attend many webinars and grow more than ever. And also I have the best mentors ever in the world, Teacher May. She pushed me a lot to study all the time. So yes, teacher, I got lots and lots of knowledge from my colleagues, my teachers. Yes, that's how I do.
Anybody? Another one? Jenny. For me, I think one thing I need to do is actually research. I haven't done that, but I found webinars very, very useful. And last year, I think I attended quite a lot of webinars from British Council website, and they are also related to, one was on pronunciation, and I have had a lot of experience, but it's also a refresher, attending these. And then we had 2 conferences, and I went to all the workshops, and I have to say that it really made me feel very glad to see all the young people so familiar with the technology. Sayani and Sayahin, you did something on AI, and we got lots of positive feedback from that. And some of the teachers from my school, they said they now feeling more confident to use AI too and things like that. So I think webinars and conferences are great for me as well. Anybody? Teacher, yeah, Saya Angjopyu, would you like to say anything here? How do you keep yourself updated?
Yes, one of the thing is for me is reading books. Like I really like reading books, and then what I usually do is I usually read 2 or 3 books at the same time, so on the same
Oh,
topic. So it
okay.
is like I'm trying to cross cut from one book to another. So
Uh-huh.
if the same, maybe if it is about, for example, like classroom management, like so I
Mm,
read it in one book and then I go on and read it in another book. Like so, how they I want to land the different perspectives. So
mm.
that's how I do. So yeah,
I
and
have
another
to
thing is I
salute you. I've got to salute you. So I think not many people read these days. And if I read, it would be online. So do you actually read the book?
yeah, books, yeah.
Not the ebooks or not the article
Sometimes
online.
ebooks,
Okay.
sometimes ebooks, sometimes like physical books. Yeah.
So if you do read like Saya, please put your hands up because I think my reading is going down. I do read for teaching and something, but it would be mostly online articles. I would go onto British Council website, read some articles. So with a book in hand is very rare. So if any of you do that, just put your hands up. Yeah, can you put this symbol up? Do you see anybody with their hands up? I can't see at the moment. Oh, Swima, very good. Nanda, Pinky, a lot of people. Wow, great. So we have to, I think that's also my New Year resolution. I am going to try to read the actual, the journals and whatever. So could you recommend a nice book? Yeah, I'm Jopio. Could you recommend a nice book for me to read as part of my professional development? And I want to learn something related to the AI and technology. Do you know anything?
AI.
Or does anybody know anything? Can anybody recommend anything? If you can, write in the chat. Wow, a lot of people. Very good. Anybody? So please do write in the chat later, right? If you know of any good books. Yeah. Thank you. Right.
Okay, if it
So
is,
we think,
sorry,
yes,
sorry.
sorry.
If it is a good book to read as a teacher for professional development, I would suggest Teachers to Manager book. That's really good. If you
Ah,
want to lead the class,
okay.
if you want to lead the school, it's really good and you get lots and lots of experience from that.
Oh, I got another one. AI Idea Pack. Yeah, I think I've seen it, but the problem is I didn't get around to reading it. I meant to. You know what New Year resolutions are like? Resolutions are there, but you don't manage to keep them. So that's going to happen. Oh, AI injected e-learning, the future of online education. Thank you, Sia Nini. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. And now, so let's see if what's my next thing. So okay. This is actually, having said that, I am going to do for my CBD. I don't know if you are aware of this book. This is from the British Council, Continuing Professional Development Framework, right? You can easily download it. And so just last year, I downloaded it, but didn't really get around to doing all that. So if you are interested also, and if you want to start organizing, this is a nice part to start with, okay? And the framework here is kind of quite useful here as well. So I think they have they mentioned like 4 stages here with first of all is awareness. Are you aware of, we know the subject. So for example, for knowing the subject, I should be at the integration stage because of all my experience and all that, right? But when I look at this using digital technology, my level may only be like understanding or engagement, and not even like engagement. So this is where I would like to do more this year for my professional CPT. Right. So anybody, Teacher May, do you want to say anything here about the developing this framework?
Yes, sometimes I check myself, my professional knowledge against this wheel, this framework, and almost the same. Okay, I am still at the understanding or application. But sometimes I am not very sure whether I'm on the right track, whether I'm doing the right thing, although I'm trying to do things. So this is a very useful framework for us to reflect on what we are doing and what to do next in the future in the teaching career for ourselves.
So to repeat again, I think I started teaching in 1986, so it's like nearly 40 years, right? I think it was February, so yeah, it's going to be 40. But still, we are learning. We never stop because of the changes happening, and then also because of our learners. Our learners are different now, right? I mean, when you say role model and when you talk about respect, they wouldn't respect you if you don't know digital literacy. If you are like okay, I can tell to you that I'm a dinosaur, but with them, I will have to appear cool. I have to say, oh, I know how to use, I will use a bit of Kahoot or whatever, what, and they will say, the teacher can use these things, and they will feel a little bit impressed. So we need to, as teacher Mimi said also, technology is there. So although I haven't mentioned to you about challenges, for me, I think the challenges now is the students. They are over-reliance on AI, and sometimes they produce something so good, but you know that it's not their own original thing. So how do you check, and how do you, I'm still trying to find the best way to, to make them less reliant on AI. It's okay to rely on AI, but it's still, I think that is the challenges I'm facing. Okay. So can we think about now the something you can do in the breakout, right? You already mentioned some of the activities, so I would like to put you in the breakout rooms. I don't know how many rooms can we have, I don't know. And can you think of the CBD activities you have done? And also either whether it's a webinar or peer observation, reading, or AI tool. And can you just discuss with in your group, which do you think is most effective? It might not be the same, but do give you a reason. Which do you think is most realistic, and which you think is most sustainable? Okay, what do you have to do in the breakout rooms? You have to just talk, right? Discuss about the CBD activities. It doesn't have to be just these, any particular CBD activities you have done. You were talking about in the chat earlier about 𝐴𝑐𝑖𝑟𝑒 mentioned reading, and other people mentioned peer observation. So could you just share? Basically, I want you to talk, right? That's it. I want you to share. I want you to talk. All right. Let's see. How many breakout rooms should I make?
Teacher, how many participants do you want? Like 10? Then we can create.
Yeah, 10. Yeah. Or shall I have 12? 12. Could we have 12?
Yes, dear, we can.
Yeah, 10 or 12. Yeah, I'm creating now. I have 12.
Okay. Yes.
So can you please join? I will give you about 5 minutes. Okay. Or maybe it depends. How much time do we have? I think we are okay with time. Yeah, 5 minutes. And do come back afterwards. Some people can join. I don't know if there are people joining. Okay. Why are they all in the same room? Hello, welcome back. Is everybody back? No, only some.
90 left.
Yes, still.
They're still in the breakout room.
Sorry?
Breakout.
I would like to invite some people to share what you have talked about, and even to share your professional development that you intend to do, continuous professional development plans. You have actions that you will take in the coming year. So, anyone? Hello, I think almost everybody is back, right? So
97.
anybody?
Thank you.
Tanda, would you like to share any of your, the things that you've discussed? And if you have any plan for the resolution for the future, would you like to share that as well?
Yes, of course, teacher. The first thing I would like to say thank you for this to attending this webinar. Very good webinar for us. We discussed in our group about our CPD development and the same as the other teachers. But as for me, now I'm trying to develop my CPD, attending webinar trainings, and also I'm trying to giving training to the young generation teachers. It is a big chance for me because today teachers, they are very super
Yes.
for AI. So I'm always trying my best. Before I'm giving the training, I have to update my AI skill. So this is my very lovely fact. So I make my resolution for 2026 is I am trying my best and best to develop my CPD. And also the other teacher mentioned about that. They also read and reading the books, and they are also trying to develop the AI. So in our group, AI is a superstar for today's teaching area. And young generations, I always motivate for CPD because today's some teachers, young teachers, they give for teaching for to the students, giving more time teaching to the student, but they have very little time for to develop their CPD. So I always motivate. Look at me. Look at me. I am old, but I'm trying to become
You're
bold.
not.
Always give motivation. So very group discussion we had, teacher. And thank you very much again for your webinar today, teacher.
Thank you. So can I have somebody younger? I'm not discriminating, right? But we just like to have a J3. I am the retired age, and Tanda is younger. And could we have somebody younger to tell us what their plan? Because they might have different plans. We are all saying technology, right? Technology, AI, but they might have different ideas because they are already familiar. So the Zane, could you help me choose? Or Mimi, would you like to choose?
Teacher
Sorry?
Ejamki has raised her hand.
Yes.
Okay, yes, teacher HMK. Yeah, wait, I can't see. Yeah.
So much, and like the electricity is not the power. There's a power outage in our quarter right now, so may I turn off my camera? And then actually, I'm the person who doesn't have any CPD's time. I've admitted in my group discussions because like I'm really overloaded with my work. Even though when I came back from my like full-time job, I have like different part-time jobs because like private study for the students, something like that. And then when I get back home, it's like already 8:30 or somehow. And then I have to plan a lot for the next day, maybe PowerPoint slides or maybe lesson planning or maybe other stuffs to do.
Yeah. So any advice teacher may, I mean, that's, I understand things that's stopping you from CPD is your workload. Sometimes it could be time, right? Sometimes it may also be other, maybe you might have family, you know, to take care of, things like that, right? So anything teacher may.
Well, for me, okay, if I say this, it will be like do as I say and not as I do because I tend to procrastinate. I tend to put things off. So don't imitate me. I tell people to do things, but in fact, I'm not following my own advice. I'm just preaching and I'm not practicing. But of course, what I do is, okay, I read for my lessons. I do read articles, you know, the relevant related materials for my teaching and for my training, but I still can't read a lot. So my CPD plan is to read more professionally and for pleasure as well. In fact, I want to read more for pleasure. I may not be reading romantic novels, but right now I read news and news articles. So this is how I try to keep myself away from work to have this work-life balance. So away from work, I don't want to read about ELT, TESOL all the time. So sometimes I read about news and sometimes I follow gossips on Facebook. But okay, one of my New Year resolution is to use less Facebook in the 2027. But I still can't keep my promise to myself. But I'm still using quite a lot of Facebook. So my suggestion is okay, try to have a work-life balance and don't overwork. And okay, do have time for yourself and do things that you really like, but be careful with your with your health, mental health and physical health. Okay, and eat what you like, but of course, okay, be careful with your sugar intake. But okay, life is quite short. So okay, we need to live our life to the full. And that's my advice. But let's see
can I
whether
just say one thing? Can I just say one thing is also learn to say no. That's very important.
I can't do it.
Because our problem is we have to say we anade or whatever, and we say yes. If somebody say, "Can you teach?" and I will say, "Oh, I'll try," and then they would also have this emotional blackmail. So they would say, "Oh, my son can only learn with you, and you are there." So that's actually affect your ego, and you think, "Okay, I am going to be the savior for this, whoever." But you have to save yourself first. So yeah, 𝐴𝑚 mentioned that. At the end of the day, you have to love yourself and learn to say no. That's the art. So I think we should have another session on the art of learning to say no.
Yes, I will learn.
All right. Okay. Right. Okay. I think we are almost nearly there. So
yeah. So I think okay, that's all we have to say about our looking back, reflecting on the past, the previous years, and thinking about considering and making resolutions, whatever you say, for the future. And we talk a bit about our CPT because we are talking, the topic is teachers as professionals. So I think now the floor is open to the teachers, the participants. Okay, if you have questions and comments that you want to make, raise your hands and have your mic on and talk to us. We want to hear your voices.
Could you check HMP? I saw anybody else?
Teacher, may I continue? And
Please.
like as I already mentioned, like I haven't had touched my CPDs, and one of my colleagues, she's like really good, and then she's sharing her experiences. She only learned from peers when she doesn't have any time to work on CPDs on her own time. She just learns from her peer when she's working with her full-time job. And then I learned from her. Yeah, I'm also learning from my peers while I'm at the work. I learned something positive from them. And then I learned something that I didn't know from them. And then I also checked that thing. So I forgot my CPDs could be in the peers learning also. And then she lighted up my whole world with that only one word. And thank you so much, my colleague, Teacher Ying. I appreciated that. I really want to say that in person to you next day if I have a chance to meet you at school. And thank you so much, teachers, to share me the experience for this one too. And yeah, like right now, starting from today, I'm just going to think positively. And my CPDs could be also rely on peers learning too, not only from my free time learning stuff like that. Thank you so much, teachers.
Thank you.
I mean, because CPD doesn't have to be formal. It's informal as well, and it's continuing, right? So you are actually doing it. That's why you are surviving. Otherwise, you wouldn't survive. You are not static. You seem to be evolving and growing. So that's the most important thing. As a teacher, you have to have the growth mindset, and you are growing. So I don't know if you know our gurus here, 𝑦𝑒𝑎𝑟', he was afraid of technology at first, but at the workshop we had in, I don't know when, was it in August or September? He said, okay, from now I'm going to have Zoom lesson. I'm going to learn. So that's the kind of, the mindset we should have, not to be afraid, and then just keep changing, adapting. So, that's he is an inspiration for us as well, right?
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, on closing. Yes.
Yeah. 𝐴𝐞𝐞𝐫𝐬, yeah.
Yes. So good evening, teachers. So first and foremost, I'd like to extend my sincere gratitude to the speakers for such an enlightening and thought-provoking session. So my question is that, so in your experience, what are the most common pitfalls or like behaviors that can undermine a teacher's professional standing? So we often discuss what to do to become a professional teacher, but I would be curious to hear your thoughts on like what we should actively find a way around to ensure we don't appear unprofessional. So we talk about to begin how to be a professional, but like, what are the things that we should avoid and we should be careful?
Yeah, Mimi, would you like to start or should I?
Yes, Mama, you can start.
So it has to be the opposite of what he said, just to keep it. No, I mean, the pitfalls. So I'm thinking of anybody who, I think the problem starts when you think you know everything, because as a teacher, you have that tendency. And I've seen people also saying, like the Sayada teacher maybe we mentioned, they think that they know everything. They don't want to learn. Everything is changing. So you got to adapt and change. So sometimes when a person is stagnant, a person is just not willing to learn, that could be one of the danger sign, red flags. You're saying the red flag, oh, he is not reading, he's not learning anymore. I'm not talking about the personal side or behavior side, because behavior, nothing to do. You may have tattoos on your arms and you could still be an excellent teacher, so not that. But I think it's the attitude. Wow. And then we have heard about Jin teacher. In Myanmar, they are Jin teachers. So Jin teachers are not professional, okay? So I don't need to define Jin teacher, do I? Yeah.
No.
Do you want to add anything? Mimi, do you want to add anything?
Yes. Okay. Yes, and I'm just echoing you again. So the thing is, know thyself, know yourself, know where you are, know what you can do, know what you can't do, and be yourself and try to be honest with yourself. And if you don't know things, accept it and you try to learn, you try to go on. But if you don't want to do that, it's up to you. But the world is moving on and people are moving on, and you will be left behind if you don't do things. You are standing still because other people move on. You will be behind other people. So, but again, life is not a competition. Okay, very paradoxical. But at the same time, if you want to stay abreast with the current changes and the trends, and if you don't want to lose your face in the class, with your students, then I think we need to get to know something about the current trends, the technology. And another thing is, for me, this can be another topic. I think, you can also talk about this later. Generation Z, their language. So the language that they use is quite difficult for me to understand, and I am trying to get to understand what they are doing. Just now, Teacher Kai has used one phrase, a red flag. It is not very Gen Z, but still quite new, still younger generations language. So I think I better get to know them so that I can have a better chemistry between me and my students. So I think this is one thing that I want to do in the future, but not the linguistic research Okay, but just to get to know what they talk about. For example, you're very demure, or this is delulu, things like that. Yeah, this is just for myself. So yeah, I don't know whether I answer your question, or maybe I got off track.
No, you absolutely addressed to my questions. Also, yeah, thank you very much. That's quite helpful and also reflective as well. Asia and Joanne, I think you might have something to add. Please, I love to hear your thoughts as well.
Okay, so I think the teacher Kai and teacher Memewe has covered like a lot of the aspects that maybe that I also share the same view with. And the thing is, one thing is maybe it is the same thing that they are talking about. The thing is, you shouldn't be very pretentious, right? So that is, if you pretend to be somebody that who you're not, that you will not get anywhere, right? So that is so. The thing with the younger generation is like when you go into their classroom, they size you up, right? So that is so it is not like it was not like that in our days, right? So, they do not, so the students do not look at you look at you like that, right? So these days, if you go into the class, they was look at you and size you up, right? So that's what they do, and maybe we might have that insecurity to be better than to look, to sound better than to look better than what we really are, right? So that we have that kind of urge, right? So that is to impress them, right? So right away, right? So there's so maybe we should suppress that edge, right? So there's so we should not trying to pretend that who you're not, who we're not, right? So that is one thing, and another thing is later they will find out who you really are, right? So in the long run. So another thing is lack of preparation. So that is one thing, right? So maybe because we become very complacent with ourselves, right? So that's why. So we don't put effort into our teaching anymore. So that might be also a danger, right? So that is of it being, you it's like just like a saw, right? So we always have to try to sharpen ourselves, right? So that is, if you don't do that, you will become a dull too, right? So that is, so that's why I think that these are the two pitfalls teachers can make, right? So there is, so even experienced teacher can have that problems, right? So yeah, thank you for your question.
Thank you, teacher. So from teacher Kind, don't be a gym teacher. From teacher May, like keep yourself abreast with, and from teacher Xiaopiu, be yourself and don't lack of preparation and sharpen yourself. Thank you so very much, teacher and Xia.
Thank you.
Cheers. One question.
Yes, Edward has got a question. Yes. Since I will read out, since AI is already used by most students, should we prevent them from using AI or guide them to use it the right way? I think, Xia Edward, you have the answer for this yourself. What do you want to say? Yes, Xia Edward.
Actually, I wanted Xia Angzhuo to answer this question.
Xia Angzhuo to answer. Okay, Xia.
He's always thought-provoking with this. Yeah, would you mind?
With AI is sort of like a so it is a necessary evil for us, right? So we cannot avoid it. It is just like a inevitable thing for us. Like it is to just take it or lose it. Like the thing is, AI is already here. It is not. People say AI is the future. No, AI is the present. So we are living with AI already. So even if we are not living, our students are, right? So they are already using AI in every aspect of their lives. So if we do not take the opportunity to guide them, then we will be at loss, right? So that's why I think I would prefer to guide them to use the right way rather than preventing them from using AI. Maybe we should prevent them from exploiting AIs in an ethical way. So that would be my stance. So I think it should also be the stance of all the teachers. So yeah, as teacher 𝐿𝐸𝐸 has already, pointed out, AI can take away the creativity and critical thinking. So that's what we should be concerned about, right? So that is, so if they overly rely on AI, then it could also be it could also be something that is not good, right, for them, right? There is also downside, so we should be careful with that. So maybe if we are not teaching them in the way they should learn, then we are robbing what they deserve, right? So because AI is their new reality, so it's new normal. So if we do not teach them with AI, so that means we are robbing them. We are robbing their rights. So that's why. So I think we should try to know more about them, right? So as I have already shared in the previous conference, so AI might be like our enemy because it might be one day taking away our jobs as a teacher. So just like in the Godfather movie, so we have to keep our friends close, but we have to keep our enemies closer, right? Even if you think AI is your enemy, right? So we have to keep it closer, right? So that is, we have to know about AI, so that they cannot beat it. AI cannot beat us, right? So yeah, I think it answered Edward questions. Thank you,
Thank
Sia.
you, Lord Was. Yeah, thank you.
Here's a nice comment from Grace. She said that, in my opinion, using AI is great, yet one thing, you must be smarter than AI so that you can comprehend what is true and what is false. That's a nice one, right? You must be smarter. Exactly what 𝐴𝐸𝐸 said as well. Yeah.
Thank you. So I think this would come to the close of our webinar tonight. And if you still have questions, you can stay on. But we have one thing to announce. We are going to have an in-person event next week, Sunday, right? Okay, 18th of January, in person. Okay, at ACAE International School in the Culture Valley. Okay, we are advertising it tonight on Facebook very soon. So you all are invited. But okay, because it's an in-person event, the seats are limited. It's limited seats. And okay, and you can register your name. Okay, so hope to see you all again there in person. Okay. Yeah. So anything else? What else shall we say?
It's 8:30, so time to say goodbye.
So allow
Thank
me
you
to
for
say
your
thank you, teacher.
lessons and
On
thank
behalf
you
of
for
So very much.
Yeah, teachers, on behalf of all the participants, allow me to say thank you to all the speakers and the participants as well. Thank you very much, teachers, for participating in this event, and especially my gratitude goes to the speakers. So to sum up today's webinar, let me say a few words about the speaker's very thoughtful and insights words and phrases from 𝑠𝑖𝑎 Let me start with 𝑠𝑖𝑎 He focuses on the emotions, mental well-being, and physical well-being. So we have to be aware of ourselves physically and mentally. Thank you, 𝑠𝑖𝑎. And let me go to Teacher May. Teacher May acknowledge that know thyself. This is really good. We have to know ourselves. If not, nobody knows. So yes, we do have to know and improve ourselves. Life is not a competition. Thank you, teacher. This is very exhausted to compete with others and to compete with myself. So we have to keep pacing and improving. And let me conclude by saying Teacher 𝐸𝐸's words, the art of learning to say no. That's what we have to do, to love ourselves. And the last but not the least, I do love one phrase from Teacher 𝐸𝐸, have someone to love. Thank you, teacher. I'll start finding one. So thank you to all teachers and good night. And thank you very much again. And I do want to request all the participants to fill up the evaluation forms for e-certificates as well as the evaluation of our webinar today. We hope to see you all again, as well as in-person webinars and conferences, as well as in another webinars. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll have more webinars in the future. In February, Yeah, the whole year we have the calendar full. So
And if
you
you are
will-
interested in presenting also, right?
Yes,
They
you are
can
most
contact
welcome.
us. We do want, presenters, yeah. So young and fresh mind.
Yeah, Xiaohui, did you raise your hands?
And
Yeah.
yeah.
No. Because I saw Xiaohui raising.
Sorry, teacher, I didn't test it.
Don't worry, don't. And Sia,
All right.
Edward, did you say something, Sia? Yeah, okay. Sia Edward is suggesting to have some kind of training or workshop on the use of AI, especially ELT. Yes, okay, we will try to do a webinar or a short training. Okay, and we have the younger generation of AI expertise. Sia Edward himself, Sia Nhi, Sia Hey, Teacher Duza. Okay, so we have the younger generation, and okay, I'm sure they will lead that training session. And okay, so stay tuned, and we'll come with AI.
Okay, good night. Then.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, teacher. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Very
teacher.
Thank you,
Okay,
teacher.
yes, okay, teacher,
Thank you, teacher.
Nanda, okay. You can contact us. You can contact us in the chat box in MmTESOL